35192 if you want to text. I'll have Kid Rock tickets for you about an hour if you want to go see him out at Blossom in August. WWE 2K22, brand new copy of that for whatever your platform of choice is at 5:20 all this week. And the Cavaliers are off tonight. They won last night. They were here at home. They played the Orlando Magic. 107-101, I believe, was the final. And so they will play tomorrow night. Off tonight. I think the Monsters are playing tonight against the Chicago Wolves at the Romo Fijo, if you're more into hockey. But the Mavericks will be in town tomorrow night, so Cavs-Mavs at 7 o'clock tomorrow night here on MMS. 6:30 is when your pregame will begin. Of course, all of us had to take a step out of the studio, cool ourselves off on the heels of the announcement that they're partnering with Cleveland Cliffs, who I've never heard of in my life, but good for them that they're going to have their patch on the Cleveland Cavaliers jerseys. Listen, there are a lot of flat-rolled steel producers in North America, but Cleveland Cliffs are the largest. And so, good for them.
When I'm looking for flat-rolled steel, I'm a Cliffs guy.
It's the only place I go.
It's a good time to show brand loyalty, by the way. There's a lot of, there's a lot of companies that'll half-ass it. You know? You'll get bubbles in your steel, or you'll get little, wibs and wubs in there. You want it flat-rolled. Mm-hmm. Right here in Cleveland, Ohio. The Cliffs. Which I double-checked. Somebody did bring it up. It is not a collection of guys named Cliff.
Oh, dang it.
I would have... Cliff Cleveland, of course, you'll recall the great John Ratzenberger portraying on the hit TV show Cheers.
Was his last name Cleveland?
No, Clavin.
Oh.
Cliff Clavin was it.
I'm like, that sounded...
Hey, Cliffy.
Yeah.
What a great show.
We didn't talk about the kid that fell off the ride in Orlando at the time. After it happened, you saw that story? The kid that fell off the ride? This kid was huge. I had no idea how big this kid was. So there's one of these, I will never go on these, but even as a kid I wouldn't. Those death drop rides or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you go up to the top and then they drop you. And
Yeah.
there's magnets, so
Yeah.
it slows you down, but it's just not for me. And this kid goes up in Orlando, and as it's coming down, it's about a third of the way down. So post-drop, mid-drop, he somehow slides out. It's got the harness locked down, but he somehow slides out.
The bottom.
Falls to his death in front of his parents and the whole thing. 14-year-old kid. And so the amusement park is like, look, these things lock. And they're, we've all been on rides before where you'll have the shoulder harness that locks, and then sometimes there'll be the thing between your legs, if not the plastic divider that's molded into the seat, it'd be like a little buckle there or something.
Yeah.
Tyre Sampson was a kid who was 14 years old. So in my mind, I'm picturing a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Well, this kid was 6'5", 340 pounds.
How did he even fit?
14-year-old kid. Well, that's what they're trying to get to now, is they're like, so now the family's like, they shouldn't have even let him on this ride, which is true. But I have to always think, if you are that big, maybe you just don't get to ride all the rides.
And why would you want to? It would be.
Well, you're there. You're trying to have fun.
No,
I mean, he's
man.
a 14-year-old kid. I'm just saying, have the wherewithal to be like, man, this isn't for me.
Or when they try to force it shut and you barely hear that click and then it comes loose or whatever.
Listen, as someone that has had not enough clicks, anytime I've gone to Cedar Point and I've had to do that walk of shame.
Yeah.
Where you can't get in the ride.
Yeah.
And it is not.
And then you go, okay, I guess so.
And even if Bill can't get on the rides, it doesn't feel good. With my skinny ass, I got on the Mantis. And all my friends always want to ride the Mantis for some reason. And I'm like, it hurts me. Like the G-force hurts me. And then
the Mantis was a nut crusher.
That hurts. And then the Iron Dragon. Oh my God.
If you're a kid this big, the only time you're gonna feel weightless is on an amusement park ride. So I understand the appeal. You know what I mean? But this kid was a big dude. I just envisioned the regular 14-year-old kid who somehow slid out. 6'5", 340.
So his thing had to have come unlatched.
Well, they said that when the ride came down, the harness was still down and locked. So they're trying to figure out how he came down. I think he's so heavy, he slid out of the thing
That doesn't
and
make
couldn't
sense.
hang on. Why?
If it was locked, how would he slide out?
No, not locked. The locked harness over the shoulder.
Over the shoulders. But
And-
he
and
probably
they have-
couldn't get the lap band across, and he probably didn't.
Right, but
do
those
that.
those harnesses have handles on them.
Right.
You
So
try-
I don't-
I'm
You try
saying-
holding on to
okay.
6'5", 340 pounds when you're.
If I was going to
with
die,
that kind of G's.
I'd hang on pretty well. Anyway,
If
we'll never
you're-
know what he did, but other than fall out. But
If it comes over your shoulders, it usually, like you said, buckles between your legs, or at least they push it so hard against you. If it was locked when it came down, he wouldn't have been able to slide out.
that's what they're trying to figure out.
That's wild.
The manual for the ride says, check to see that the rider fits within the contours of the seat and the bracket, and if they do not fit, do not let them ride. And so they're not sure if whoever was up there squoze this guy into the seat or whatever. But there was some video that was going around. This was at Icon Park in Orlando. There's video going around of somebody this kid, fell out of the seat about 5 seconds into the ride's drop. So he still had a long way to go to fall. But wow, the more information, the initial story, I was like, oh, that sucks. That's, it's bad news. But the size of this kid takes riders up 430 feet and then drops at speeds of up to 75 miles per hour. We've all been on these, right?
Yeah.
I was on one as a kid. That was plenty for me, so I'd never go on. That and the bungee rides. I won't go on those either.
I'm terrified
The
of that.
cage and the giant rubber
Yeah.
bands, I'm like, no, thank you.
I did one of those. Oh, I didn't do the bungee one. I did the one that's like the big swing, and that was fun. But
I don't handle
like the bungee
I don't
one.
handle dizziness well. I don't
can't
handle
spin.
no.
I can do roller coasters, but any
Yep.
of those, there was one.
If I'm going in one direction, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can't.
I can't go backwards.
I don't-
Backwards makes me sick.
I could do that too, but
Can't go
I
backwards.
can't deal with the spinning or the bungee type stuff. That's not for me.
There was a ride, I don't remember if it was at Geauga Lake or Cedar Point, but it was called the Texas Twister.
that was Juggle Lake.
So Geauga Lake. So you're
that-
seated,
ugh.
dude. So you're seated in it, right? And it's a long line of chairs, and the ride itself goes in a circular motion, okay? But then on the circular motion, the chairs spin. So
The whole row
you're-
spins, yeah.
Yes, the whole row is spinning as you're going in this circular motion. I
Like
did
salt
it,
and pepper shakers.
did it one
Yeah.
time and threw up, and I was like, I don't think spinning is for me.
No,
Like,
thank you.
This is.
Kings Island wants people's family photos, by the way. They're celebrating a 50th anniversary. And so anybody who has photos of them from Kings Island from the 70s through the 90s, they want your pictures.
Never been to Kings
I
Island.
didn't even know it's still open. Kings Island.
Every time I
doing it?
pass it on my way down to Cincinnati,
It looks
it's just,
so
it looks so
miserable,
sad,
right?
doesn't it? And that's because we're probably spoiled having Cedar Point right there. But you drive past and you're like, "That's it, huh?
That's
One
all you
little
got?"
loop. That's what you got."
Is that what it is?
You can
It's-
see it from the highway,
Well,
literally.
they used to have the Beast. I don't know if the Beast is still. That one was impressive. That was for a long time the world's largest wooden roller coaster. That was their
The
big
mean
draw.
streak before the mean streak, then it had to
Yeah,
have been.
yeah, and it was just really like massive and impressive. I haven't been down there in a long time, but this is also the point that I'm at in my life where I'm planning little trips around town when we're off, and it's like, yeah, I could go to Kings Island, but what I really want to do is go to Cincinnati and go to Jungle Jim's, the big grocery store.
Oh my gosh. There's a Jungle Gyms in Louisville near where my brother lives, and they always want to go there. And we're like, guys, like this is not
That's the one.
place.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only one?
I think there's only one. It's like in between, like it's around
between
there.
Louisville
yeah.
and Cincinnati?
Yeah, so I'm like
Okay,
trying to
yeah,
book
yeah, yeah.
shows so I
Around
can
that.
go there. Yeah.
It's a grocery store?
It's
No.
the world's biggest grocery store
It's like I don't even know how to describe
Why is that an
it.
attraction?
because they have so much food.
There's a lot to do.
How much do you need at a grocery store?
Well, it's got food from all around the world, so it's almost like a food museum in a way.
It's very strange.
Yeah. Have you been to it?
I have not, but my brother always wants to go there, and I'm always like, no.
It's called Jungle Gyms.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Is there like a Jungle Gyms or a? It's like an
Jungle Jim's International Market.
not an amusement park. It's like an indoor like fun park. I thought it was called Jungle Gyms. I must be wrong.
And the one that I'm thinking of is in Fairfield, which is
Yeah, that's the HQ.
Yeah.
They're headquartered out of Fairfield. International Market. Okay.
I've seen videos on TikTok, and then my buddy was talking about it on a podcast, and I was like, man, I kind of want to check this place out. It looks fun. For like a day trip, like if I'm doing a show down there, I'm not going to go down there just for that. But if I'm in Cincinnati, that'd be a fun place to go for an hour or two to just be like, hey, I went to Jungle Gyms.
Yeah.
That's more appealing to me
That's
than
not the
riding
thing that I'm thinking of.
a roller coaster at this point.
So you go, hey, I can't get good tabbouleh where I live. Maybe Jungle Gyms will have it.
Jungle Gyms will have it.
All right.
Malibu Jacks is what I'm thinking. Jungle Gym.
That
Malibu
sounds like a
Jack,
bar.
Malibu Jacks. It's like an indoor, like a, like anything, like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Like a
theme
main
park.
event type thing? Like
Yes, they've
that
got,
kinda-
skee ball and games.
That's
and,
not what I want. I
No.
want groceries.
Well, I was like, that's why I was like, why is he going? Because it's like a little kids thing. They've got like the tunnels that you can run through. I was like,
Why
is he
can't they
going to
combine
Malibu
the
Jacks?
grocery store theme park experience?
Yeah.
Get off the roller coaster and grab some bottles of kvass. Well, anyway, Kings Island, if you have old photos of you there, you can send them to their website. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary through your personal stories.
Oh.
They keep getting bomb threats out at Lorain County Community College.
Why?
Why?
I assume maybe a lot of people didn't study for finals. I don't know.
LC3 is jumping.
They've had three of them since Thursday. Evacuate immediately was the tweet that got sent out. Another non-specific bomb threat. And so everybody splits.
Wow.
The bomb threat came in electronically. See, it's too easy to make threats anymore. You can tweet a bomb threat. Back in the day, when you had to call it in, you had to talk to a person. You had to get one of those voice-changing things or put a rag over the receiver.
Does the rag over the receiver?
Yeah,
really
so-
do
I
that
don't
much?
think so.
Make it
No,
wet?
muffles it.
Yeah, it makes it wet.
No, I'm saying like a wet.
We couldn't tell they sounded wet. I don't know.
No, I meant like a wet rag.
What I don't understand is what is the point of I want to phrase this correctly. Why would someone make a bomb threat if they're looking to do harm? Like if you're looking to blow people up, why would you warn them first? Like how credible is a bomb threat?
I don't know.
How many how many
Most of them, there's nothing credible about them. Most of them end up being false alarms. But,
They just have to be taken serious.
Yeah.
So I
Just
think-
in case.
Yeah.
I understand.
so it's just to
I
jam everybody up. I mean,
Because I think
Because
about
the-
all the worst bombings. I don't think they came with like
Threats, yeah.
open warnings, like, "Hey, bitch, you
No,
better
you're
get
right
out.
about that.
Get out, bitch! I'm about to blow this place. I'm about to blow this place up."
but they keep getting them.
British Alan makes a good point for Mary's Wall of Wisdom. Ribs and dancing are different.
Ribs and dancing are different.
She's not lying. They are different. Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Wall of wisdom. I didn't know it had risen to the level of a wall.
We should get it on a wall.
Yeah, we should. We
We
should
might as well
etch
do it here because
We're leaving.
are we?
Yeah, right?
Eventually we
Yeah.
are, yes.
Well, I hit up Keith. My boyfriend has a drum room that he calls his jam room. It's all coming together. And I hit up Keith and I was like, "Yo, are we taking the soundproofing stuff with us?" And he was like, "No, why?" And I was like, "I'm gonna take it." And so like we came in here on Sunday and Keith was like, "Yeah, take whatever you want. We're gonna throw it away when we leave. We're not taking this stuff with us." And so my boyfriend came up with his drill and we're like taking stuff off the wall. He's
Yeah.
like, "Are we gonna get in trouble?" I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure they're like junking everything in this place."
Did you take them from Rachel's room?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Is that why you were in there?
When did you see me in there?
I saw you in there like looking around.
I
But
was
this
in
is-
there last Friday, like looking
so
around,
you were
or Thursday.
You were casing the
I
joint.
I was like pulling them off the wall,
Stripping this place for
Yeah.
parts.
Because I thought it was I thought she was going in there to change the thermostat, and I'm like, well, that's my room. Why is she going in there?
No.
And she like looked around. I'm like, this bitch is demented. Like, that's what you were doing.
Wandering. No, I was checking out the soundproofing.
He thought you were demented. He didn't think you
just
had
been
any reason
demented.
She
whatsoever
just
to be
did
in
like
there.
a little
'cause-
twirl with her
yeah.
head in the air,
I was just kind of like looking around and I'm like touching things just to see what
turned
it was.
the lights on, then turned
Yeah,
them
how
off.
sturdy it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't touch a damn computer.
I'm going to find that ghost butterfly if I have to go in every room in this place. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. Anytime you want to leave us a message, you can.
Can they?
It's, 216-986-8903.
Hello, Alan and gang. Who I am is not important. However, Alan, are you okay? Because yesterday when Mary was trying to tell the story of how a listener brought her some things at one of her shows, you, recently especially, but you don't seem to be able to keep up on what stories people are telling on your own show. I know you give Cody a hard time for not listening, which he doesn't clearly, but that's besides the point. So I know you got like 9 monitors there, like your what's his name from Swordfish. But you okay, bud? Just checking on you. Hate the show. Have a good one.
What does he mean?
I don't know.
Again, who is that?
I don't know.
Are you failing to follow stories?
No,
Mark?
I was curious why a woman gave you toilet paper.
Right, and that wasn't a story that was told on the show.
Yeah, it was.
The
The toilet paper story. No, I was
that
like, we just talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, that was something.
No, yesterday you said this woman gave you like
A
toilet
goodie
paper.
bag. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had toilet paper in it.
Yeah.
Toilet paper
Yeah.
because that was something that you posted on your TikTok and Instagram.
Yes.
But that's not something that
Alan
was
knew.
like, brought up on the show.
Right.
So, of course, you're confused by that because you didn't have the context for it.
What does he mean?
He thinks that
You sleepy Joe.
you're not. He thought that story was told on the show and that you
Oh,
were.
so he's not paying attention.
Exactly.
Oh.
Which is the case a lot of
Well,
the
then
times.
you should have told me who you are, dummy. You're the one not paying attention. Alan, I'm not big on concerts, but I do love stand-up comedy. Very first show I saw was George Carlin in Las Vegas in 2003. I was 17, and my high roller aunt had upgraded us to front row seats. I've seen a lot of the big comics. I spent a lot of money to see Chris Rock some years ago, and it was one of the top 3 worst shows I've been to.
Oh, no.
Mike Epps and Pete Davidson being the other 2. Keep in mind, I've seen Mary Santora and Bill Squire.
Oh,
that's
better
not
than Mike Epps, baby.
That slap was exactly what I wanted to do after that show in Detroit. That's Andrew in Detroit. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I saw Chris Rock on that same tour, and I thought it was good.
yeah.
That's the hour that became Tambourine, his Netflix special.
And that's my thought, is that when these guys go on these theater tours, they're usually still kind of refining what's going to be in the hour at the end.
The special.
Yeah, so if it's not all completely locked and drilled in, it doesn't bother me that much. I do remember seeing Rock, and there was some significant kind of lulls in whatever he was doing at that time, but he's still a funny dude.
I thought it was
like
good.
I had no issues whatsoever with that.
But thanks for coming to see us.
Yay.
Yeah, out there in at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. That's probably where he saw you.
Yeah, he's hit me up a few times. I'm playing a newer club out there in a few months, and he's coming. He's messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, I'm bringing some people."
What's the new club out there?
It's called One Night Stands.
STAN''S. Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
I think it's
And
in
where is that?
Waterford, Michigan.
Okay. Yep.
Which is a similar area. It's outside Detroit. So yeah, he hit me up because Mark Ridley only does headliners every other year, so you can't play his club every single year.
Oh, pardon
At
me.
least that's what he told me. I don't
Well,
know.
tell him it's been more than
That's
a
what he
year
told
for
me.
So you can kind of rotate between these two.
Andrew was the only person that came out to see me on. It was just like a routing data as I was doing gigs like up in Michigan and then going to Wisconsin. And so I was like, oh, I'll stop in Detroit for a night. And it was Hamtramck. There was other people that were at the show, but he was the one that was
Hamtramck.
there to see me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was,
One night
of him.
stands.
Listen, man, until you can play
Oh,
theaters,
that's
you have
funny.
to play One Night Stands and the Ha Ha Hut
I
and
love it.
Jokers with a Z.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at.
Oh, Connections. Wasn't that the one in Toledo
Oh.
off the highway
Connections
there?
was in Toledo.
Connections. I had some times at Connections.
One of my first booked sets was there. They did a
Connections
thing
and-
for essentially open micers. It was called Wise Ass Wednesdays.
Yeah!
And I was like, look at me, I'm playing a club. Look at my
Yep.
pockets.
Connections in Toledo and Lansing. You probably never got to the Lansing one. I like the Lansing one more, but they were both okay.
Run down.
Okay.
Yeah, they were definitely
There's a
like by the
reason
time I
they're
got there, they were on their last legs.
Yeah.
And then you saw the death rattle.
Yes, I did.
One night stands.
There were some nights when it was packed and it was great. It was like you're back in the 80s.
Do you get the pun? It's kind of like a one night stand.
Oh.
But the guy's name is Stan.
Why didn't they call it One Night Stanleys?
Oh, it's too long. Too many syllables.
Well, Larry Reeb is going to play there, so you're in good company.
Duh.
Wow, Uncle Lair. I didn't even know. I used to open for Larry Reeb. I didn't know he did the road at all.
He's
I
doing
thought he
places
just
like me.
one night stands. Wow, good for him.
My first week ever hosting at the Cleveland Improv was hosting for Uncle Lair.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think he ever left Chicago.
And man, that microphone smelled so bad
Like
at the end
Pall
of the night
Malls
because
and,
he would just smoke cigarettes and cigars all night, and is when you could still smoke inside. So he'd sit at the bar just chain smoking, and then get on stage, holds the microphone right up to his mouth, and then at the end of the night, I go, "Hey, good night, everybody," and I would I basically yell it because after the first night, I was like, I got a big gulp of his stink.
Wow. So the Larry Reeb Big Gulp of Stink Tour is going to hit one night stands out there in Waterford Township.
I guess a big huff.
Yeah.
I don't even know when I'm there. October, July?
I don't know.
have no idea.
My mother-in-law used to live out near there.
Again, I don't ask enough questions.
You should ask more questions.
I truly don't know when I think I'm there in July. Nope.
Well, ask some more questions.
maybe.
I thought it was April 8th.
April? No, April I'm in...
that's when I'm in Pittsburgh.
August 19th. Oh, my God.
You're doing a show in Pittsburgh.
I am at the Arcade Comedy
Oh my
Theater.
God, it's Bill Squire, everybody.
Arcade Comedy
Go
Theater.
see Bill Squire. Pretty soon it's going to be Baker Mayfield in the black and gold.
BillSquire.com.
Sitting there front row. BillSquire.com.
Get those tickets.
Get him now. All right, let me break here. 35192. Want to send a text, and AlanCoxShow.com for all the other stuff, and we'll be back.